everyone, I am back. That is right, I am back. Welcome back to Drumbeg Studio Podcast. How are we all doing? It has been a while. Yes, I have to admit, it has been a while, but it's great to be back. Welcome everyone back. I hope we're all doing great. I'm so happy to be back. It's just incredible. In this season, we have an incredible lineup of guests for you guys to hear about. Plus, we've got some great new bands with some great new music. Plus, some new tracks from some of the original bands that we've had over the last 2 seasons. For example, in this week's show, we're going to have a new track from Pyro and Perth band The Sandemans. We're going to be chatting to special guest, actor and fight performer Mark Hunter. But before all that, this is my latest single, my first single of my new debut album, which is coming out this summer. This is Black Magic. In a house full of cards, everybody's gambling on the tables. A lot of money in the room, it's a robber's dream or a banker's pay bill. Big Jojo rolls up outside in a black Mercedes and a little girl by his side. Everybody stops and stares at the door, cause they don't want him here no more. Black magic, systematic in your eyes, tells the tale of the story on your side. Black magic, systematic in your eyes, tells the tale of the story on your side. Everybody is smoking stuff, drinking beer and feeling free. All it takes is one more puff and you're off to see the fairy queen. Try and look in my perspective, feel my heart is so reflective. Just hold me close for one more night. Black magic, systematic in your eyes, tells the tale of the story on your side. Black magic, systematic in your eyes, tells the tale of the story on your side. Well, there you go. That is a sneak preview of my latest single, which is going to be available on all the digital media platforms of today, Spotify, iTunes Music, you name it, as of the 22nd of this month. So next Friday onwards. Check out all the links on my Michael Lumby, all my socials on Facebook and my Instagram next Friday, and you will get the link to this song. Now it is time to meet the first guest of this new 3rd season. This week's special guest is actor and fight performer Mark Hunter. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you're doing well.
Yes, I'm doing well, thank you very much.
Very good. Now, I just want to start by asking you what you dreamed of becoming when you were growing up as a youngster.
Well, when I was really young, I wanted to be a soldier. I always wanted to join the military, as I come from a strong history of a military family.
Right.
Most of my relatives have either served in the military in some way, whether it be army or navy. And I grew up obviously on the stories of that and with the not expectation, but the expectation on myself to do it as opposed to forced upon me. My family didn't really want me to overly join the military. They supported me, but I wanted to. I expected to join it when I got to 18 and would probably had things gone a little bit better for me, but still be in it now. But unfortunately, I had a knee injury which stopped me joining.
So how early then did you start to take an interest in performing?
Quite late in comparison to a lot of other actors. I was about 14, 15. I'd always been interested in it. I'd always watched a lot of TV and movies growing up, a lot of shows. My aunties and uncles would take me to shows. I was raised as a only child to a single parent, so and he had to work a lot, meaning that I was either at a childminder's or spent a lot of time in front of the TV watching all the classic old action heroes and various other movies and dramas.
Right.
So that sparked my interest. I always knew that that's something that I'd like to do if I could. And then as I got a bit older, towards the 14, 15, that's when I started to get the confidence and the ability to actually get involved with stuff in drama, stuff like that. It wasn't until a bit later, like 16-ish, that I actually started getting up on stage and performing as more of a key acting role.
Right.
I joined the local YMCA, and I also did a first diploma at Westwood College, where I studied performing arts, and that's when I really grew leaps and bounds in confidence from what I used to be, and got more of a idea of the stage and what I wanted to do on the stage and what it was like to work on the stage with the fabulous people that you meet and such like that. So I've performed in various different genres of acting since I did shows with the YMCA, independent theatre companies around Scarborough and a little further afield. I've done all sorts from comedies to straight dramas and various other things, like I've been involved in musicals of different types. I did some filming for the movie Screwed, which was filmed in Scarborough, as well as some interactive theatre, Faulty Towers evenings, various things like that.
You know, exposing yourself as an actor to those sorts of genres, or just a variety of genres, really builds up sort of a repertoire of what you are able to be casted in, doesn't it? And down the line.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of good experiences, and to any actors that are out there or wannabe actors that are getting into the industry, especially while you're doing it on a level of semi-professional or working up to professional, there's really nothing you can say no to, because the experience alone is so valuable.
We're going to catch up with Mark in just a bit, but now it's time to get back to the music, the best bit. I love it. This is Perth band the Sandemans with Taiski. That's the Sandemans with Taiski here on Drumbeg Studio Podcast. The Sandemans are an alternative indie rock band based here in Perth, and you can head over now to their Facebook page to catch all their latest music and gig news that they've got posting up on there. I have to say, it's incredible that we have yet another talented band coming out of Perth. This city is really starting to grow in the music scene. Many thanks, guys, for letting me play that song on my show. Now we head back to our special guest for this week, actor and fight performer Mark Hunter. So Mark, with the interest that we've already chatted about of you doing performing, what made you decide to study acting and stage combat at uni?
Well, I'd already had an interest. Like, I was, as I've mentioned, I watched a lot of movies and stuff growing up, and one of the things that always caught my attention and interest was the action movies, horror movies, and more the stunts that are done in it. Like, one of my biggest idols of all time is Jackie Chan, for his amazing stunt work that he does, and not just stunt work itself, the fight choreography. He always makes his fights so interesting to watch. Various other movies had great stunts, great fight work, and it was one of the things that drew me towards the course, because when I was growing up, being dyslexic and not always very keen on the written side of most work, I struggled with the idea of going to university. It's not something I ever really planned on doing, hence why I was a mature student by the time I went. And it was only through a bit of difficult time in employment, when I was on a bit of a low run, I looked at universities and looked around different courses to find the acting and stage combat course at East 15 Stage School, part of the University of Essex.
Yeah.
Stage school was something that did interest me more than university, but just through a lot of misinformation when growing up and various other things like that, my understanding at the time, when I was younger, the reason I didn't go straight from college was it was more about dancing and singing than plain acting. And also, after doing so long in so many different fields of acting, not that they didn't feel an area to progress, but there felt a lack of, like there was a lack of funding for me to do it, to go and just learn more of the skill that I'd already been working on.
Yeah. So just focusing on the stage combat business, where was the interest? How did that come about initially?
So the stage combat business, as I say, for me, came about from the watching the movies, having the experience in my martial arts, and I started with learning kickboxing and karate. My dad had taught me Shotokan from quite a young age, which is a form of karate. But it took me a while to appreciate the form of that style. So at the young age, I wasn't quite as dedicated to it, because it's a very traditional style of martial arts.
Right.
Whereas the kickboxing and the Wadaroo karate are much more modernized and more likely a natural fallback for most people that are in a self-defense situation where you're confronted by, and people that know boxing and other styles of fighting that are similar are more likely to use it. So around 7 or 8, I started to learn the kickboxing and the Wadaroo karate, which are very similar in stance and style. So when learning them, I unfortunately did have to use them a bit and growing up, but I do appreciate the fact that I've learned them. I'm probably one of the reasons I'm still here and who I am is because I did learn a lot of confidence from the martial arts, a lot of discipline. All of them, the Shotokan, the Wadaru and the kickboxing all instilled a lot of self-discipline and self-training. As I grew a bit older, I started to appreciate the Shotokan and taking bits and from each style that I thought was more useful.
I'm a stranger to your touch. You say that I think too much, but you letting go of me, and trust me, I feel you grab slapping. Lately you've been chasing dreams, I've been chasing you, but I've been trapping. So give me a break when you can. If not, then I'll understand. 'Cause do I deserve such peace? Well, if I'm honest, I need some sleep. 'Cause it's hard to breathe or even see straight. I'm not feeling great now. I hope to wake up and not fall straight down. Down, 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 and not fall straight down. Down, 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 give me a break when you can. If not, then I'll understand. 'Cause do I deserve such peace? Well, if I'm honest, I need some sleep. 'Cause it's hard to breathe or even see straight. I'm not feeling great now. I hope to wake up and not fall straight down. Not fall straight down.
That's Pyro here on Drumbeg Studio Podcast. The boys from Bathgate doing their thing with their latest single, I'll Understand, here on Drumbeg Studio Podcast, which was released on all digital media platforms on the 3rd of March this year. Go and check out the full song now on Spotify. Many thanks, guys, for letting me play that song on my show, and I wish you guys all the best for this year. Now we head back to our special guest, Mark Hunter, for the final time today. So Mark, I want to touch on your actual martial arts business that you have created yourself, and I suppose it's a no-brainer to be going from that, having just studied it, to now putting it into practice and starting to train and develop other people in the actual industry itself.
Yeah, so what it is I've started my own business, Hunter's Stage Combat, and it's more focused on the acting and stage combat side as opposed to the martial arts side. And what it's focused on doing is it's for anyone who wants to come along to do it. It's not expensive in the grand scheme of things, like it's not an elitist club. And you come along, if you want to partake, you join the class, we cover the skills in a very traditional way. So rather than we pick up a weapon system and use it for a week, give you a little certificate at the end of it, you come and you learn over a longer period of time, many classes, how to hone the skills and actually get the muscle memory into the body and achieve it through repetition. Like my course at East 15 is 3 years. We spend basically what would be your entire downtime at university training with the swords. So the contact time, the training with the weapons. The contact time is full-time contact a week. So you're learning the utmost amount that you can, and it gives you the time to swing the swords around or swing whatever weapon system you're doing around for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, before you even start to apply them to choreography and stage combat, if needed. So it gives you the time to pick up the skills rather than just being there to go, here's a certificate, next people along, please. It doesn't matter if you're experienced. If you're experienced, that's great. Come along. If you've already got certificates, that's fine. It's for people to come along, have a bit of fun, learn new skills if they got them, or hone the skills they already have.
Yeah, sounds very good. No, it's incredible what you're doing, and you're well and diverse in the subject as well, which is very important. And I think we can safely say that the your business is in safe hands for the future. So I mean, it's a shame we're coming to the end of this great talk. It's been fantastic. You've been really good. I've learned so much today. It's been incredible. But just before we go, I'd just like to ask you basically what the future holds for yourself, and I suppose also what the future holds for the business.
Well, at the moment, future for myself's looking all right. I'm going to be doing some work, hopefully at the Nightingale Hospital as a porter. I know that's not really to do with my industry, but my hope is to expand the school into a hall, and the amount of students that attend, increase the amount of equipment and support coming in for the business, and go from there. See how that goes. And obviously as well, the business is connected directly to my acting career. So should people join my club and become what we're calling a pack member, which is essentially a club member, pays a membership yearly, they will also be included in the company's fight team, should they want to be, and various things like that. So the company is growing, and hopefully we will be manning the entire fight team on that.
Well, that sounds really interesting. I want to wish you all the best with that. Again, many thanks for coming on the show. It's been great to chat to you. Many thanks. Cheers, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Well, as ever, a great thank you goes out to our special guest, Mark Hunter, this week for giving up the opportunity to chat to him. That was incredible, Mark. I learned a hell of a lot. I hope you guys did as well. It's incredible listening to the fight performance and combat business that you run yourself. I want to wish you all the best with that. I hope you're getting really good attendance to your classes each week. Many thanks, guys, for tuning in this week. That's all that we've got time for this week's show. Join me next time for my next special guest, some more great music. Until then, have a good one, guys. See ya. Drum Bag Studio Podcast.